All right, so warm. This is Brother Mayim coming at you from GMS Tampa Bay. First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Much blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. And I just want to do a quick video, just going into this whole SNAP benefit thing. Because as Esau has put out there, as these government restart bills, one of the things that was restarted was these SNAP benefits. But as we've been seeing, people are having to reapply again for these benefits. So it's not going to be just, things are just going to cut back on and whatnot. So, just wanted to speak a little bit on that. But first and foremost, it's like if I didn't already, I want to give all the praise and all the glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Bahashim Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of Great Millstone. Most blessing and salutations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth. We're diligently pushing out this truth and sincerity. So, real quick, because, as we hear about these things that people are having to reapply, a lot of people are going to be denied that used to get them. They're going to be denied, or they're not going to receive the same amount that they used to after they reapply, because what people have done over the years is use the system, or abuse the system. And now as we get closer to the image of the beast being instituted on the earth and the MOTB being made mandatory, we're starting to see we have been seeing a crackdown, throughout all sectors, of government and of the private sector as well. Things are becoming a little bit more harder for people to get around and finesse the system, so to say, as Jake likes to say. It's not going to be as easy for Jake to finesse the system anymore, because this is how Esau wanted it. Esau wanted you to think you were getting off. Esau wanted you to feel like you could manipulate the system. So when the time came to bring the hammer down, just for you to be able to get these benefits back, because you become so dependent on them, you've relied on these benefits for so long. Now you'll actually be truthful and comply and just go ahead and get these benefits. You'll sign up for them again, this time being truthful, which either way, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to try to finesse the system either way. But that's Esau himself has created this spirit of lying, because that's what Esau is, man. He's a liar. Okay. And real quick, this is Sirach chapter 10, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, "The wise judge will instruct this people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered." Right, and this right here shows you that Esau Edom, and just, bear with me a little bit. Just going on my morning walk today, but I read it again. Sirach 10:1, "A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered." Right. And Esau Edom is not a wise judge. Okay. He's not a prudent man. Okay. And for those of you that are not aware of what the word prudent means, let's just get it. All right. Prudent. Wise, discerning, judicious. Okay. This is the online etymology. Okay. With knowledge, deliberate. And that's one thing with Esau Edom, is he is not filled with knowledge. Okay. And he is not deliberate in the things that he says and does. Okay, because he'll tell you one thing and he'll do another. Because Esau Edom's spirit is to be wicked. Okay? It is to do evil. It is to run the people dry. Okay? And because he is the liar and the father of it, here it is, you have our people doing the same thing. The Israelites, because we're under the captivity of the so-called white man Esau Edom. For those of you that don't think so, go ahead and try to leave the country. Go ahead and collect some rainwater and let it be known that you're doing so. Okay? See what happens. But Esau Edom is not a wise judge, man. Okay? But continuing on, it says verse 2. And well, real quick, a point I want to make on this verse 1, it says, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. Esau's government is far from well ordered. That's why you just had this shutdown. Okay? You had this shutdown because this place is not well ordered. Everything's chaotic. You know, supposedly you have these reports of people who are 124 years old or so and over, still collecting on these benefits, man. That shit don't make no sense. But again, this is not a well-ordered government. That's why shit is all over the place. Okay. Now they're trying to come with the order, right? Because they created this chaos, this mess, without from being not well ordered. So now they want to come and tell you all of a sudden. Now they want to come with the well-ordered structure of a government. Well, don't believe it, because as it tells us in Sirach chapter 12. Let's get that real quick. Verse 10. Sirach 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. You see? So this devil is not slick, man. A lot of you people that get caught up in the webs of Esau, because that's all it is a bunch of webs. You get tangled up in them and then you're stuck. But a lot of y'all that get caught in his madness is because, one, you're not looking, and two, this is what you asked for. The scriptures talk about that. You had Israelites that said, you know, prophesy unto us lies, okay, and deceits. And this is what you got, lies and deceits. So now you have a dysfunctional ass king, dysfunctional ass leadership, dysfunctional ass government, and all they're doing is spewing to you madness. Right? So back in Sirach 10 and 2, it says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right? So now you're going to have all these people lining up to try to get food stamps and trying to figure out how they're going to lie themselves into being able to get a good amount of assistance. Which, again, this whole food stamp thing was created for, actually the people who actually need it. The poor, so on and so forth. But you got Jake out here that manipulate the system so that they can get hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in food stamps and government assistance. Lying, saying they're homeless. Okay. But again, Sirach 2:10 and 2. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of men the ruler to the city is, such are they that dwell therein. And now you have Esau that's going to be strict. Okay. He's not going to be playing no games. He's going to be having this ship on lockdown, so to say. Now they're going to have actual people reviewing these accounts or these applications to make sure no one's trying to get off. Okay. It goes on to say, verse 3, an unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority Salakia. But through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. You see? But it said what? An unwise king destroyeth his people. Okay? Salakia. That's this little bit of people here. It says verse 4, because this is what we're waiting for ultimately, is this right here. This is why we need Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, and why we need Yahweh Shai to return quickly, man. Because this is not where much righteousness does dwell. Because all of this that's happening over these damn food stamps, man, is fucking ridiculous, man. It's nonsense. Okay, it's wickedness on both parts. Okay, but it says, verse 4, Sirach 10 and 4, the power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. And Yahweh Shai is going to be that one that's profitable, man. And guess what? The scriptures talk about there being a welfare system. Okay? Let me see here. Let me just look up one example. Leviticus chapter 23. All right. Let's just get this real quick. Leviticus chapter 23. And I'll start at verse 22. Leviticus chapter 23 and 22, it says, and when ye reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not make clean riddance of the corners of the field when thou reapest, neither shalt thou gather any gleaning of thy harvest. Thou shalt leave them unto the poor and to the stranger. I am the Lord your power. You see? So this was a law that our people had, that when Yahweh Shai establishes the kingdom of heaven on earth, okay, alongside his men, the earth is going to be well governed. And one of the things that's going to allow the world to be governed well is that the poor are going to have food to eat. They're not going to have to be begging for change and begging for food, man. They're going to have plenty to eat, okay, because there's going to be that leftover. But does Esau Edom do that? No. He may actually do applications just to receive measly checks to get some bullshit at the store, man. Because you can't, you even with food stamps, you're not able to get good quality food. You got to get shit. You got to get American slices, not American cheese. You got to get American slices. You got to get that white bread or that wheat bread. You can't get that whole grain bread, okay, or the grain bread. You got to get that the American slice, American slices with the bleached flour, bleached enriched flour. Okay. But see, the Lord had a system that he gave unto his people, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, on how to be able to govern themselves so that they would be able to prosper each and every way possible, down to even the poor, those that didn't have much. Okay? Now, that's not going to be a thing in the kingdom, because the Israelites ain't going to be poor. We're going to be in the kingdom of heaven. So we ain't going to have no poor Israelites. But you sure as hell is going to have poor heathens. But even in that, again, like I said, they're going to be following the laws. And the scriptures talk about when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. This is one of the things the people are going to be rejoicing about, man. What's that in? I just had Isaiah chapter 2. All right. Isaiah chapter 2 and verse 2, it says, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the tops of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow onto it. Right. All nations will come over onto the Israelites to learn of our ways, okay, to pay tribute, all right, and to be well ordered by the Israelites, because we're going to be the righteous governing body on the earth. No other nation is going to rule, or they're not going to share rulership with us. Okay. It says, verse 3, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. You see? So the law is going to go forth out from you Israelites, man. And this is why the nations are going to be well ordered, and why they're going to rejoice, because, again, one of those things that we're going to do is there's going to be enough food for everybody, including those that are poor, man. There ain't going to be no need to apply for no SNAP benefits in the kingdom of heaven, man. There's going to be already a welfare system in place that the laws of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua have already established, man. And this is why we're going to live in peace and harmony on the earth. No one's going to be frustrated. The only people that are going to be frustrated, Esau, Edom, and we already know what's going to happen to them after some time. They're going to be done away with, because they can't ever be pleased. That's why, now in this society that we live in, Esau, Edom, with his policies, he's always changing shit up, because he's never satisfied, man. The scriptures tell you that in Habakkuk chapter 2. He is never satisfied. He increases that which is not his. And what does he do year after year, term after term? Raise taxes, cut down on this so he can raise up on that. This devil is that's exactly what he is, man. A fucking devil, man. And he's the father of lies, man. This is why this devil is not to be trusted. Anybody who's running to this devil for help right now, after all the bullshit he's just recently showed you, it's going to be unto your shame. And this is why the scriptures tell you that, man. Let's just get this real quick. All right. In Jeremiah, or Salaki, Isaiah. I always get it mixed up with the two. Isaiah chapter 30. And verse 1, it says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. And so who are these rebellious children speaking about? The Israelites. These are the ones that are the only children of the Lord that can rebel. Because we were the only ones that were instructed to behave and to act a certain way and to live a certain way. When we went away from that to follow after the ways of the heathen, that's when we became rebellious. And to this day, you have our people rebellious as hell, man. Going to the heathen for help instead of putting on the covering of the Lord to receive of his blessings. But it says what? Verse 2, that walk to go down into Egypt and have not asked in my mouth, to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's what it's going to lead to, man, your confusion, man. You're going to be utterly desolate out here, man. Because these devils are going to pull on that leash real hard here real soon. And if your ass is tied down by this leash, you best believe you're going to have a hard time out here, man. You're going to be choking. And you're going to want to look for any and every way possible to stop this pain. And that includes receiving his MOTB. That's what you're going to ultimately result to. You see? That's what's going to come of you trusting in the shadow of Egypt. You putting on the ways of your daddy Esau. Okay? But yeah, man, just wanted to bring that out real quick, because it's funny now that the government got started back up. People are running rampant trying to figure out where they need to go to reapply. A lot of people are shaking in their boots because they might not get the same amount. But one thing that these people ain't doing is seeking Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. But he's here and he's being proclaimed on the earth. And if you don't get it, if you refuse his counsel, hey, we know what the Lord is going to do to you. He's going to refuse you in that day. He's going to deny you before the Father. You know, so hey, Lord's will is edifying. I want to give all the praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders apostles of Great Millstone. And much blessing and citations to the Akim around the four corners of the earth who are diligently pushing out this truth and this truth in sincerity. That I say Shalom.